Yo, we're back. Now, sorry about that, we had a few technical difficulties.
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
In the Peace Life Lab, but we're back. So again, we were talking about the beginning of your workout journey, well, you started your new meal plan. You made some adjustments there. Once we took away the processed foods, we started to lose a little bit of energy, and we were talking about how that played a role in your workout, or in this case, it played a role in you not working out as much, and we had to kind of make some adjustments for you, and I had to kind of walk you through that part, how we used different carb sources to kind of pump up that energy and get you back working out at a high energy.
Well, yeah, that too, man. Part of it is, a big part of it is the mental aspect of it, right? Especially coming from our background, playing sports, stuff like that.
Right.
And when you first started working out after a long layoff, and you're not, I wouldn't even call it not successful, but it's a struggle. I mean, part of it is just being self-conscious. Like, I still struggle with it. I'll go to the gym, I'll go to 24 hours, but it's still in the back of my mind, It's like, man, all these people sitting here watching me work out. I work out a lot at home, the little equipment that we have at home,
right.
The exercises you showed me how to do.
Yeah.
Right now, that's my main comfort level, that's my main go-to. So I don't go to the gym as much as I should, because now it's getting to the point where now I am a little more successful with the workouts.
Right.
I need probably more weight, maybe a little more equipment because I can do more things, so it's time to branch out. I'm working on that, man. I'm going to work on progress, you know what I mean? So
right.
we're going to get there, man, but even that part of it's going better with the workout.
Right.
So, man, we're getting there.
I think where the most important part of that is, along your meal plan or your health and fitness journey, you'll learn how to use food to fuel your burn, right? And in this case, not only use food to fuel your fat burn, but also use food to fuel your body and subsequently your energy. And that was one of the things that I teach, and one of the things we were working on in the beginning was, okay, I took away these processed foods, which in other words was a whole bunch of calories that my body used for energy. So when I took that away, I got sluggish, I got grouchy. Some people call that the keto flu. And we use different things to kind of balance you back out after taking away all those processed foods. And then we use different amounts then we learn the difference between high carb and low carb. And that's something that, there's a big thing there, keto diet. Didn't necessarily go keto. We didn't do just your normal everyday keto, because that tends to be a little what we consider dirty, right?
Right.
And so that lent itself to eat more tacos and eat more taco meat. Well, the fat from the red meat and again your body's inability to get that red meat faster, even though it was keto, would have worked against our weight loss goal, right?
Right.
So we had to learn the difference between a clean keto, which is what the Beast Life Fuel plan is based on, and a regular keto, which is what we consider dirty, where you just eat meat and cheese.
Right.
And so then when we learned that, we also learned the difference between a high carb, for example, say bread, rice, pasta, or a better example, pineapple, strawberry, versus a low carb and subsequently a better carb for your body to use for fuel, which would be a blackberry and a raspberry.
Right.
And so talk about that. Talk about how we'll do that quick, about learning the difference, because this is where him and I argue the most, is our old notions, the old things that we have in our head is healthy. Right?
Right. Well, you know what? Every time we have one of these discussions, what do, man? We end up, because I use my fitness pal. That's one of the things, is one of the keys for me, is I track everything.
Yes.
I look up everything before I eat. Either I scan the barcode, or I type it in, you know, the description. But I mean, that's important, right? Because part of what we're learning too is just, you gotta know what's going in your body.
Right, absolutely.
And so when we start talking about high carb and low carb, even like with vegetables, that I was like, man, what's wrong? Remember we had the discussion about cabbage. I was like, man,
Right.
about to cook cabbage. You're like, man,
Yeah,
cabbage ain't it.
Right.
And like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm looking up carb count in cabbage.
right,
And we talked about it, and it's not, I mean, it's not, for the record, cabbage is not a high carb food. But here's what it is. Here's what it is, though. It's one of those things that you gotta look at how it's gonna sustain you. You gotta get a lot of cabbage.
it's nutritional value and what it will do as far as fuel.
Right, and so where something like cabbage could be dangerous, even though on the surface, not a high carb food.
Right, right.
And for the record, I mean, it is good for you. But here's the thing about cabbage, for me, it might not be the case for other people,
Right.
it can lead to me overeating.
Right.
Right, because what I do now is I really pay attention to my portion control.
Mhm.
Right, so I measure stuff out, for instance, like my protein sources.
Right,
When I'm eating protein,
right.
I never go over 6 ounces of protein.
Right. Well, I did, not to cut you off, I'll let you get right back to it, but I want to make the point that we didn't, now some people do start by measuring their food from the beginning. We didn't start with that. This Beast Life Fuel plan based on Dave's health and fitness goals, and then we've kind
Yeah, it's just one
of
of those
changed and
things.
rearranged as we needed.
Yeah, it's just one of those things I've worked into,
Mhm.
right? Because, like I said, with me, it's the whole thing about listening to your body.
Right.
And so I'm doing intermittent fasting, I still do. But I got to a point where I was doing like the 1 meal a day intermittent fast, where I fast for 3 hours and have like a 1 hour eating window.
Right.
And so what would happen was, when I had that 1 hour, I was eating. And I was eating like, I was still eating chicken,
Right.
but I would eat a big piece of chicken. But then what I noticed, like, all of that protein at one time, all those vegetables at one time, I was still crashing because I was spiking my insulin levels. So I really just, I played with it, right? I dialed it in until I found the right portion sizes. Because another thing to do, man, you know, when we say, man, I'm full, being that full is not a good thing,
Not a
right?
good thing.
And so you're supposed to eat till you're not hungry.
Right.
And then you keep it moving, and we go. And
The term is satisfied.
Satisfied, right. And so, you know, that's one of the things that I've learned along the way too, right?
Right.
So that's where the measuring out the portions and stuff came in.
Well, I think that's a great point because, and this is something we can we'll kind of end it for you guys with this is, the main thing here is he didn't start his Beast Life Fuel plan, wherever your starting point is, he didn't start it and then that was it. There's been some research in there, there's been some old myths dispelled, there's been some trial and error. We tried it this way, that didn't work, and we came back and we tried it this way, that didn't work, and then we went over here and tried this, and then that worked. And I remember you calling me one day and saying, hey man, I found my sweet spot. And now it involves some intermittent fasting, it involves some carb cycling, and that's part of the Beast Life Fuel plan. But again, if you're not on the Beast Life Fuel plan, these are some things that you're going to have to kind of, we found this out, and so a lot of research went into that. Again, we found out along the way that, research for my body and the things that work for my body might not work the same for Dave's body, and vice versa. So there was some trial and error there. There were some things that we looked up that, hey, we used to do this and that worked, and we had to kind of get rid of that, and then we had to kind of use some things that used to work as a foundation for the new things that were used. So a lot of stuff went into where you're at today, 82 pounds later, 6, 7, 8 months down the road. Well, with a whole bunch of consistency and a whole bunch of accountability on top of that research and exercise meal plan. So, kudos to you for that way to stick in there.
And I appreciate you for sticking in.
Awesome, that's what I do. Beat stuff, I show people how to beat stuff for a living, tastemethod.com if you want to learn how to beat stuff too. Also, stick with us on this Beast Life channel, we'll be showing you how to beat stuff. But the main thing is, you got a bit of a plan and some tidbits from me, but you've done all the work. Gotta again make sure I give you some due on that, because again, I've known this man over 30 years. We played sports together. This dude is a freakish athlete, believe it or not, but also at the same time, we've had all kind of battles about health and fitness and weight loss along the way. So super pumped for you to be here sitting with me on this podcast talking about your personal fitness journey, health and fitness journey, and we'll continue to do so. And we're going to use this as a platform to help people. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, like and share bits here today that'll help you along your health and fitness journey. If you got any questions, email me at tastesmethod.com. If you're on Instagram, hit me up at FatAndy, shoot me a DM. You can go again, follow me on the Beast Life channel. I'll be putting up some tidbits along the way. We'll have some live cooking shows. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll get some tidbits that you can use every day. But if you become a member and actually join me every day, you'll get live workouts, you'll get live cooking shows, you'll get live interviews from people who are clients. You'll get the Beast Life Elite edition of the workout. So this is a great thing. So stay tuned for us. We'll chime in once or twice a week if I can get this guy to come in. And we'll be showing you how the Beast Life Fuel Plan, but today's health and fitness journey, you can use it along your way to your health and fitness. Got any more to add to that, sir?
Just stick with it,